Africa, and a very, very warm welcome to you. My name is Jeanie D, and this is Afternoon Express. Now, over the years, what was considered the perfect family has changed. Years ago, the ideal family dynamic was that of a man, a woman with at least 2 children, white picket fence, 2.5 kids. However, as times have changed, gender roles and acceptance of different sexualities have all changed. So have typical family dynamics as well. So today on the show, we meet Darren and Emanuel Kelly-Loulié, or Kelly-Loulié, a same-sex married couple who are raising their little boy Jeremy with modern family ideals. So in light of World Fast Today, we chat to Agnes Barnard, the co-founder of Kin Culture, an organisation that creates awareness on the importance of foster care in South Africa and the world. Plus, we discuss the social dynamics explored in modern families with clinical and research psychologist Neil Victor. So join the conversation online and tell us if you would ever consider fostering or adopting a child by tweeting us at Afternoon Chat using the official hashtag Afternoon Express, or comment on our Facebook page. So now on with our first interview. 7 years ago, Emanuel Kelly-Loulié started a blog as a personal journal, which is now called 2 Dads and a Kid. Today, Emanuel, together with his husband Darren, truly embody what it is to be a modern family in our Rainbow Nation. Gentlemen, welcome to the Loft. So lovely to have you here.
Thanks for having us.
So tell us a little bit about the two of you. What do you do? How you can, and how long have you been together for?
Well, I was actually, I grew up in Swaziland, and then started working, and then we came out to Johannesburg for work trips, and one of those weekends, that's when I bumped into him at one of the clubs.
Yeah.
And
was it love at first sight?
Was it?
Absolutely, absolutely.
You look so convinced. Best night of his life. And how long have you been together? How long have you been married for?
We've been since 2012, so about 7 years this August. Yeah.
Lovely.
Yeah.
So when the conversation about having a family came up, what were your options, and what did that conversation look like?
Well, options were either we go through surrogacy or adoption. So we looked at both options.
And what did they look like? What was it like exploring both of them?
Well, surrogacy wasn't a guaranteed outcome for us, so, and it was, besides that, it was also pretty expensive. And then the alternative of adoption came up, and we looked into that quite extensively, and I think that's where the whole idea of the blog started, because there wasn't much research, there wasn't much for us to go on and look into and find out about adoption, and that's why Emanuel started the blog. It's a kind of journal of our journey to adoption.
Amazing.
But going back to what you were asking earlier as well, the research that we did and what we found with surrogacy, we found it's actually, there's a lot of information about surrogacy, but the challenge comes when it's time to find a surrogate mother to carry your child. That's where the challenge is.
Yeah, friends of mine have actually just had a child with a surrogate, and finding the right surrogate, and I mean, all the processes in between, it was quite intense.
Yeah.
So compared to that, I mean, that was obviously quite intense for them. What was the adoption process like for you guys?
Well, like Darren was saying, finding the right agency was challenging. It's not as, there aren't that many agencies that will say, well, they will accept same-sex couples. Basically, from when I started researching from the beginning, you would see a lot of agencies that will tell you straight off that if you're a same-sex couple,
don't even serious? Yes. That wouldn't even, is that even legal?
No, it's not.
Probably
I don't think it's
probably
legal.
not based on our constitution, but that is what we had to deal with in the beginning.
So it's not like you see Annie Warbucks. It's just you go to an agency and you fall in love with the child, and then that's so. What is the process like? So then tell us.
So we eventually found an agency that accepted same-sex couples.
Yeah.
So we went there. The first thing they do is they interview you.
Yeah.
Basically to assess where you are, whether you are really ready to be a parent.
Yeah.
And then you fill in forms, questionnaires, you submit, they do background checks on you, and if they feel that you are ready to be a parent, then they tell you, okay, you go onto a waiting list.
Yeah.
And then that waiting list can be anything from 3 months, in our case, it almost like 14 months that we waited to get that call to say, okay, we found a child to place with you.
Yeah.
Are you still ready and willing? And we said yes, and a week later we were placed. with our son.
So you started Two Dads on a Blog while you were still in the process?
Correct.
Okay.
So at the time, sorry to interrupt you, it was not called Two Dads at the time, it was called Hillary.
Yeah.
I had read up on the name Hillary, and at the time we thought we were going to adopt a girl. Yeah. So it was like Hillary, a strong woman. So I thought, yes, this is the name. Yeah. So Two Dads only came in, the name changed, came in 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. Okay, so tell me about the day that you got the phone call and they said, we have a match for you, we have a little baby for you.
Surreal. It was one of those days where it's the last thing you expect. Emanuel called me out of the blue. We were both at the office, and he said, "Look, they've just called. They've sent me a picture. I'm sending it to you.
Oh, so cute.
What do you do?" Yeah. And you have to make a decision then. I think they give you 24 hours.
Yeah.
You literally then have to decide whether that is the child that you are prepared to adopt. If you forego that opportunity, obviously they pass that on to the next waiting couple. Yeah. And we immediately said yes.
Yeah.
Let's do this.
And then what was it like the day you met Jeremy?
Oh, it was amazing.
I'm sure.
It was, for me, it still felt like a dream.
Yeah.
Flying down.
How old was he when you got him?
He was 2 months.
Okay.
2 months. Flew, so like a week later after getting this call.
And what was his backstory? Where had he gotten to the agency at 2 months?
I think he went to the agency at birth, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So we don't have a lot of background from that part. All we know that he was placed with us, and then it's just basically following the rest of the process, which is the name change, getting him legally recognized as our child. Yeah.
And tell me, what is that adaptation phase like of becoming a new modern family and having this new beautiful bundle of joy at home?
Nothing can prepare you. You have 14 months of preparing, getting the room ready, mentally preparing yourself, getting your family involved, telling everybody about it. But the minute you have that baby in your arms and you get back home, everything changes. And nothing is as you have prepared it. But obviously, we wouldn't want to change anything.
Yeah.
But that's your story, right?
You tell me yours.
Like I've been telling a lot of people that from the age of 16, I knew that I wanted to be a dad. Yeah. And I remember quite vividly telling my mother at that age, I'm going to be a dad one day. Yeah. And she's like, but who are you going to get married to? I said, that's not important. But I'm going to be a father, and I'm going to raise this child alone. Yeah. And there is, well, not alone now.
I have to tell you, on that joke, so all of my friends have got children, and we're friends with a gay couple who's got a little baby. And one of my girlfriends said to me, "Oh, I'm so jealous. I would do anything for my husband to be so involved."
We get that all the time, actually.
I'm sure. But it's amazing how you just kind of assume the role of the parent, and then things just get done, I suppose.
Very much so.
I think you kind of like, you get into it like you would any other project. Not that this is a project, but I mean, this is a project. It's a parenting project.
Yeah, lifetime.
And exactly, yeah. And I think even before you decide to embark on this journey, you need to accept within yourself that this is what you want to do. Yeah. Because I think a lot of people tend to, oh, this is amazing. I want to go into it. I want to become a dad. I want to become a mom. And then they get into it. Then there's sleepless nights. There's teething. There's the child with fever that you got to deal with, and all of a sudden you're like, oh, this is not as pretty as I thought it was going to be. So it's
because it's hard. I mean, obviously it's cookies and cream and rainbows 90% of the time, but that's plus the 10%. Thank you so much for sharing your story. We're going to have you back on the couch a little bit later to talk more. So according to Stats South Africa, approximately 2.8 million children are orphans. That's a lot. That's an extremely high number. After the break, we chat to Agnes Barnard, the co-founder of Kin Culture, about the importance of foster care in the country. So please do join the conversation online and let us know if you would ever consider fostering a child. So tweet us at Afternoon Chat using the official hashtag Afternoon Express, or comment on our Facebook page. We do love hearing from you. We'll be right back after the break.